welcome to the review and discussion of the Powerflex bushes, specifically the two that I have installed most recently, which were Powerflex Black Series engine mount insert and transmission mount inserts. So what we will discuss what they are and the differences between the regular Powerflex and the Black Series Powerflex, and if it was a good idea to go with the Black Series over the regular series or not. So I'll start with what is the Black Series. So we have the regular Powerflex series, which is a set of polyurethane upgrades to replace our stock rubber bushings, which is less compliant, it allows less movement, and therefore provides a performance boost, because of course the soft rubber bushings all over the car that you get from factory, they are designed, yes, to work, but they are designed to be reasonably soft, so that people don't get much NV, edge, or noise, vibration, harshness during normal everyday traffic and driving. But the excess movement that allows can degrade performance in various different ways. Specifically for the engine mount that we installed, the engine mount inserts, that for example is designed to reduce the engine from rocking back and forth, which can be a detriment whenever you are harshly accelerating or trying to go fast. That excess movement can cause like an uneven loading of the wheels, which can cause issues with like wheel spinning or wheel hop, and you really just don't want any of that. You want it to be sort of as rigid and tied to the chassis as possible, so that everything is 100% predictable and the same all the time, giving you maximum just go. So the regular Powerflex and the Black Series Powerflex are of course both polyurethane, but they are different compounds of polyurethane, and the main difference in them is in the amount of compliance that is removed, the percentage of increased stiffness. So the regular polyurethane, we're talking about 25 to 30% stiffer over stock, whereas the Black Series are up to 80% stiffer than stock, so quite a significant difference. And the Black Series are marketed as the ultimate performance option, specifically for going on track. So you might ask, why did I go for the Black Series then? Well, I just wanted ultimate performance, very simply, and Black Series being touted as ultimate performance, I just decided to go for it and get those. And getting both the engine mount inserts and the transmission mount inserts made sense to do at the same time, as it does make sense to do this review of them both at the same time. When you think of that number then, 80% stiffer over stock, you might think of something that I already mentioned earlier, NVH, noise, vibration, harshness. Is that going to add 80% more noise, vibration, harshness into the car all of the time? And very simply, the answer is no. But does it add some? Yes, absolutely it does. It's not really that bad all of the time, and sometimes it's not even really perceptible. It's only under certain conditions that you feel the increased vibrations. And essentially, it is at higher revs. Whenever you're at lower revs, it's not really much of an issue. It's not really much of a big deal at all, to be honest. You know, like right now, going really slow in traffic, almost at 2000 RPM, you know, I'm not really feeling anything much different over stock, to be honest, and that is absolutely awesome. That's great. It's really only whenever you get up into the higher revs, anything, you know, sort of 3,500, 4,000 and up, is where you're going to start feeling the extra vibration. And the main place that you feel the extra vibration is actually in your foot. It's in the accelerator pedal. Now obviously that was to be expected. We are stiffening up our bushing, so we are going to expect a bit of extra vibration. Is it bad? Is it annoying? It's hard to really say. I mean, it really is probably going to depend on you and what you want from your car, whether it is going to be a bit too much for you. I would say whenever you're cruising on the highway, for example, and your revs might be a little higher depending on how fast you're going on the motorway, it can be a little bit annoying, I will admit. It can be a little bit vibraty if you are not using cruise control and you're just sort of holding it with your foot. You know, you're getting that sort of like vibration through your foot that whole time, which, yeah, yes, I will say that can be a little bit annoying. With regards to whenever you're actually on it and trying to go fast, it's not really that annoying, you know. I can certainly feel it, but I don't really care too much because it's not that much at the end of the day, really, and you're sort of more concentrating on going fast anyway, so it doesn't really matter so much. Another interesting sort of feeling difference with this Black Series engine mount insert is whenever you sort of suddenly get on the accelerator, kind of like that, and equally if you're on it and then sort of suddenly get off it, because of that lack of movement in the engine now, you really sort of feel that pull way more than before, which is kind of cool. It's almost a little bit savage, one might say. So if I go back down here, and it kind of like jolts you forward and jolts you back as well. So again, it's going to depend on if that is something that you're going to enjoy, that sort of savagery, or not, and that of course will guide you on your decision. Some people, I will admit, could see that as a bit of a negative, because it is quite harsh, it is quite savage, but I mean, I kind of like it in a weird kind of way. If you're a real sort of performance enthusiast who likes to sort of chuck it around and likes to be chucked around, then you probably will enjoy that aspect of it. One thing as well that I've noticed is if you're going kind of slow and you know, you try and accelerate without being quite in the right gear, which you should sort of be avoiding anyway. Certainly you shouldn't be too high up a gear and then floor it for risk of low speed pre-ignition, but just say like I'm in fourth and I kind of accelerate from, you know, being completely out of boost. You do get a sort of extra sort of resonant vibration, which kind of, I mean, the car isn't going to be any slower, but it sort of almost makes it feel like a little bit lethargic. It kind of gives this impression of like, it's sort of, you know, you can hear the engine working harder, louder, and therefore it sort of brings it to your attention more that you are in the wrong gear and trying to accelerate, and that sort of has a sort of negative perception on like how fast you feel you're going. So, you know, that obviously, like I say, I mean, you probably shouldn't be in the wrong gear whenever you're trying to accelerate anyway, but, you know, it is a little bit of a negative, a little bit of a downside. But, you know, to go along with that, whenever you're in the right gear and you want to go fast, and, you know, so it feels fantastic. It just goes in an instant, and that is exactly what we were going for. Getting rid of that flappy movement and just getting on the power and going. No energy lost through that excess movement. It just gets transferred down into the wheels much more efficiently and better, and that is great. So, I mean, the fact that it is more track focused of an upgrade, that makes sense, because, I mean, if you're going fast on track, you're probably not going to be doing that, you know, being in the wrong gear and trying to accelerate thing. You're going to be kind of like on it all the time, and it's going to suit that scenario. So as you can see, there are positives and negatives to the Black Series version of the Powerflex engine mount insert, but there's one thing that I want to talk about very, very soon that is a pretty big reason why not to buy it at all, specifically the Black Series version, and why you should just go for the regular Series version no matter what, but I'll get to that very, very shortly. What I will do now though is I will talk about the transmission mount insert. It's going to be a shorter segment on the transmission mount insert upgrade because there are literally zero downsides to it that I can detect. There are only positives. Zero additional NVH added with that upgrade. Zero. I perceive nothing different. I installed them about a week apart, so I had a good week of driving with just one insert, and then I did the other one, and I perceived no difference in the NVH after doing the trans mount insert, so that is great. It doesn't have any downsides to shifting feel, and that is where all of the positives really lie. And the main thing to really say about the positive effects are it adds this extra layer of buttery smoothness to each and every shift. It is just a beautiful thing. Obviously, I have done quite a few transmission and shifter upgrades on the RS, and I would describe this as really just tying everything together and being a really, really nice cherry on top, and oh, it is just beautiful. It's hard to really describe a feeling. All I can really say is that it feels so nice, and it just feels better, very, very simply. So the fact that there is only positive, no negative, I would say a bit of consumer advice with regards to the transmission mount, the Black Series transmission mount from Powerflex. 100% don't worry about going Black Series on that one. I would definitely recommend you do it. It is really, really great. So circling back then to the reason why you should not buy the Black Series engine mount insert at all. I noticed this whenever I was doing something else in the engine bay. I didn't even know if it was a week after I installed it, and it was, I would say, pretty disappointing, kind of annoying, but I do have a solution. So back to the garage, back to the driveway right now, and I will explain it all there. Alright, here we are then, back in the driveway, and if I go down here you can see this is of course the engine mount insert, the one side of it, and what I noticed was this. That is right, it has basically like sheared itself off. A little like tiny bit that you like connect these end bar things into, so that obviously the insert comes in like from the other side, and then there's like 4 points, so there's 2 on either side for these little things, and it's literally, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's literally like sheared itself right off. Obviously the mount is still in there, but I mean the fact that, you know, it's like so stiff that it just ripped itself apart, it doesn't really bode too well. And that, of course, like I was saying, that was like after less than a week and not on track as well, and just, you know, some fast road driving. So, you know, as far as the suitability of this product, you know, if it is geared towards the track more, you know, it's not so great because you're probably going to be driving even more aggressively on track. So that is the exact reason why not to buy the Black Series version of the engine mount insert. Now, I do have a solution for this, which I will show you right now. And here it is then, the solution for the problem. So as soon as I saw that, what I did was I went and I sourced another RS engine mount, and then I went and got the regular Powerflex version of the engine mount insert, and I did the installation. For the installation, it's obviously the exact same as the Black Series, so there'll be a link down in the description below if you want to go and check out that installation process. So yeah, I mean, obviously it looks pretty cool because it's like more colorful than the Black Series, but yeah, really what I'm hoping for is, being that our yellow section here is going to be what, like 50% or whatever it is softer than the Black Series, but still a significant upgrade over stock. I'm hoping that it doesn't just rip itself apart, but obviously time will tell. It's probably easier to show you the exact point where it ripped itself apart on this one because it is sort of brighter colors. So you can see right here, there's like this little like projected bit from the yellow, which then has a hole in it for the purple part to go through. Basically, this whole like little tab ripped itself off on the black one. So yeah, that's not so great for the Black Series, but I'm gonna give this regular one a go. And of course, because I've got a whole engine mount, it's gonna be a really easy straight swap. Just in general, the installation of this regular one was actually easier. Mainly what I'm talking about is getting these little post things up through the holes was a lot easier. The Black Series was just too stiff, it was just too much, and it made it really difficult just to do the basic install, whereas this one just sort of clicked together real easy. So I kind of think that this is the way to go. But what we will do, I will get the installation done. I need to wait for the engine to cool down a bit because it's kind of hot after that bit of driving, so I'll let it cool down. I will get this installed, and then I will jump back out onto the road and I will compare the regular version to the Black Series version. There we are then, that is the new one in place, the new mount and the new Powerflex regular series, the Road Series insert, all done, buttoned up, ready to go for a drive and to compare it to the Black Series. Alright, here I am then out on the road once again now that I have the normal, the regular, the Road Series Powerflex bushing insert installed into the car, replacing the broken Black Series insert. And initial first impressions are, it is much nicer, it is much smoother. So gearing down, yeah, I actually don't feel any vibration in the accelerator pedal anymore, which is obviously perfect. That's ideal. That's exactly what we want. So that obviously puts it much closer to the stock feel in terms of vibration. But it still feels pretty immediate getting on the power. There doesn't seem to be too much of a reduction or a drawback in terms of performance that the Black Series had that the normal series doesn't have. I mean, you know, it just doesn't have that same sort of level of savagery, which, I mean, like we were saying earlier, maybe you want that, maybe you like that, maybe you want to feel like you're being like thrown around, which isn't necessarily here anymore. So if I just gear down again, I mean, there's a certain degree of it, there's a good amount of pull, but it's just not, you just don't get that same feeling of it sort of like yanking really hard on the chassis, which, you know, is maybe a good thing in terms of like reliability, probably a good thing in terms of the Black Series mount ripping itself apart, as I showed you. So hopefully, like, well, time will tell, of course, and because of what happened to the Black Series mount insert, I will check it regularly. Hopefully the regular Powerflex will not rip itself apart, but like I say, I'll check on that every so often. But I'd imagine with that reduction in just the sort of slightly over the top savagery, it is a good indication that that will not happen. So yeah, absolutely feels much more comfortable driving, even driving quickly on the road. Dials out all that nasty vibration stuff, and it's still a good improvement over stock. So I guess to conclude then, my top tips for doing both sides of the mounts under the hood are: get the Road Series Powerflex engine mount insert and the Black Series transmission mount insert. It's, for me, for what I can feel and the way that I like to drive and the context that I drive, I think that it is the ultimate combination, the ultimate setup for improving the mounts in the engine bay. So with that, I will leave that there. I hope you liked that little top tip, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe for more content to come very, very soon. Thank you once again. Goodbye.